2 long, hard-fought days of poker against the best and brightest in the business have brought us to this point. It is the final table, the Stone Bubble of Super High Roller Bowl 7, a $300,000 buy-in event coming to a close here on day 3.
That guy's got a whole mountain of chips. I know better. I know better. On the bubble, you crazy? I'm going to play with him? Forget it. Take it. Here. Oh, no. We're playing nice, right?
I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. I'll stay out of your way. Look at that. Look at me. Oof. Is it collusion if we said tell you guys that I'm going to be scared of him?
I'm down with nice.
Poker Integrity Council. Is that okay? I said to him, I'm scared. I thought I would have best one.
Other founding member? I don't know.
Right. Am I okay if I said what I said? Okay. We'll let this one slide. Yeah. But if it happens again, oh, all right.
Jack 3 suited, dominated by Bonomo's Jack 10, and we are getting a glimpse of some abusive behavior in terms of range.
Cool.
And this is going to be somewhat costly for Daniel, barring the arrival of a 3.
170 in the middle, just south of 4 times the big blind to start. Nice start for Daniel to this one. Let's see how Bonomo proceeds. Sub 30 now. Stone Bubble. A lot of hand for this situation, naturally. Goes for check.
Cool.
50. Bet and called. Another 100 into the middle. Once Daniel gets called on this turn, the Jack 3, not really the kind of hand he would want to pursue value with on the end, or perhaps he disagrees.
80,000.
Well, indeed he does disagree, and he'll be getting snapped in relatively short order. A lot of hand blind on blind. Justin can still have inferior pairs, so on. Among the murkiest spots in poker are blind on blind, albeit a Stone Bubble where Bonomo's range is quite a bit more narrow, perhaps, than usual situations. I suppose he's toying with raise, but...
They're jacks.
Instead, he does come with the flat.
It's certainly worthy of getting the stack in. The road to getting the stack in is what he's marinating on. Looks like he's going for a normal raise. What a great start to this one for Chewy, going with the just call with an awful lot of hand. Sub 17 BBs. Nut flush draw for Chewy. The gut shot in the back door working for Orpin. Note the very strange equity we're looking at. I don't know about all that, but perhaps that's, you know.
Backdoor clubs, Broadway gutty, and the better of the 2 ace highs versus the nut flush draw.
Fair enough.
The follow through from Orpin.
The ranges at this point are hyper condensed for this situation. Again, sub 17, but these are real deal ranges playing this pot, if you will. Chewy goes for call, 200 in the middle.
Oh, and the 7 of spades slides right in, leaves Orpin drawing dead.
And for Chewy, we could see check. We could see something like 15–20% pot. He does go for the hyper sneak and allows Orpin to slide into Broadway. A rather interesting development, if you will. Of course, it's the 4th spade, but Chewy can still have things like Jack X suited, King X suited. Highly tricky spot coming up for Orpin. He may elect to go for value to the tune of 10% pot, so on. Orpin's about to be in a very awkward spot. I would imagine all time banks might get used here. Crafty little check from Chewy there on the turn.
On.
Boy, this is just pure bluff catcher territory now. There is no value that does not contain a spade for Chewy, presumably, Nick, in this spot.
Correct. Note the stare down. Fair enough.
This call is for Orpin's tournament life.
He actually sort of blocks the ace of spades as well, Orpin. He blocks ace-ace, which is possible in this line. an ace-10 offsuit. A little bit interesting. Maybe that's reaching too far, but devilish little spot for Orpin here.
Yeah.
I could see paying off, albeit the bubble. It does get away, bravo, sir.
Bit of a sick feeling there. 40,000 from the button on the strength of the Queen 7 suited. 5-5 deuce. Petrangelo flops the gut shot after taking the price pre. Note the cautious approach from Negreanu, who spanks the 7 of hearts on the turn. Petrangelo improving to a two-way straight draw now.
165.
Note the overbet from Petrangelo, and Negreanu 7s and 5s with a queen, a lot of hand button BB, but scary opponent here. Silk shirt Nikki. Zigzag. Got the watch going.
He's zigging and zagging. 165 into 110, and that overbet does get called by Negreanu, and these are somewhat unexpected confrontations.
105.
Phew. I thought he was going to do the big rah, 700 or something, but for $1.05, are you kidding me? The prices, the bargain basement prices you get at this spot, so scary. You got to just pay.
Yeah, I was just hoping you had a flush draw.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Okay, that's good news.
Okay.
You come with the 800, I go, oh, shit. I don't know.
By the way, highly intriguing
Bargain
procedures from
basement.
Nick. That actually seemed like a nice find, if you will, onward. Queens for Chewy, picks up Negreanu, hijack cutoff here. Chewy, of course, under intense ICM pressure, but queens are queens, and for Orpin, a real decision.
Yeah, all queens accounted for, and
The-
off of 12 bigs.
The Chewy range is alarming for a situation like this, but I do think, as you said, 12 bigs, ace-queen off is just strong enough, likely to just go with. Does put it in, Ali.
Sure does. As a line has been drawn in the sand, and now for Chewy, he has choices.
I believe we just go for call here every time. It isn't as if Daniel can just outplay us with impunity. He still has to show great respect for the 12 BB jam of Orpin. I could be mistaken. Perhaps a click is preferred if we're in Chewy's seat. We certainly want to deter Daniel. It is interesting.
390.
Let's go for the
I
click.
hate this part.
Daniel is
I
out.
didn't know what to do if he folded.
Ace.
No more queens coming. No more. I had a queen.
Diamonds?
Queen, jack of diamonds. So,
Well, a big 2-to-1 shot here, Ali. Orpin all in for his tournament life.
good luck, Orpin. Nothing personal.
Good luck being issued by Negreanu,
He's all in. If you were all in, I'd say done.
who bowed out. And now the Turk plays for his tournament life. Avoided disaster with the ace-10 against Chewy, but this is a somewhat disastrous spot to find himself in.
What a day.
Yeah.
Ace Queen is run into it, as they say. There are aces in the deck, though. Not on this flop, however.
Has the clubs working? Orpin, that is. And indeed still ace hunting. Jack King would do it as well.
Yeah, opportunities if the straight begins to materialize, which it does not. Board pairs, and it is 3 outs once here on this money bubble. Can Orpin find the ace? No, it's the jack of hearts.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And it is a somber and melancholic affair.
Sorry, bro.
It's all right.
Yeah, tough day. Be good run.
Good game, bro. Good game.
A lot of respect and a lot of love, a lot of sympathy and compassion being shown by his compatriots.
Indeed, a very
Would've
good
played
game to
potty
you,
too.
sir. Somebody has to stone
Queen, jack of
bubble.
diamonds.
Yeah, we would have.
Look at that.
got an issue here for Bonomo, who's been running somewhat pure. Everything kind of going his way since being down in the sub 20 BB range. But this is going to be a problem.
240.
Indeed, a problem for Bonomo just south of 40 BBs. Button big blind, four-handed.
All in.
Oh, and he does jam.
Call.
Chewy snap calls.
Yeah.
Bonomo will see the bad news.
Trouble.
Chewy finds himself as a 4-1 favorite.
Too deep, perhaps, to make this play with the 8s, or it's sound?
Not certain. Ali call sort of spoke to me. A lot of things speak to you from the booth, though. It's understandable. A lot of hand. Button big blind, but 40 BBs.
And a frisky, lucky Chewy at times.
A
out of
very
the big.
frisky, lucky Chewy. That's a great point. Seemingly reasonable procedures, and again, Chewy finds himself as a 4-1 favorite. Deuce 3 queen, clean. Spades working for Chewy as well.
Those jacks beginning to take a flamethrower to the snowmen as you can feel the melt. Bonomo binked a jack to stay alive against Negreanu
that'll do
earlier,
it. Good
and the
game, sir.
turn is a jack for Chewy,
Doesn't
which
get
leaves
much
the
cleaner
8s.
than that. Very good game to you, sir.
Drawing dead.
Yeah.
Love shown,
And then there were 3, Ali.
just like that. A handsome pay jump of 430,000 has been realized.
Ace-8 off for Petrangelo here. Chewy out.
Circus, circus, you say?
Negreanu with the defend. Prolonged kind of fingers towards the pot.
Oh, I see a deuce and 2 3s, which leaves Negreanu in front, having binked the duck. Dominated pre and now dominating, but look at this. The ace of clubs is actually not a good card for Negreanu, as Petrangelo will play aces and 3s with the 8 kicker. And now a third 3 on the end draws these hands level with 3s full of aces.
$350.
Negreanu's bet of 100,
Yes.
getting popped to 350, and
No good.
Daniel snap
You
calls.
actually worked on the turn. I had you on the flop. Oops, I should have just moved in.
Computer love for Petrangelo. Defends, and the 7 greets him, along with a deuce and a jack behind it. Well in front of this queen 6. Nicky P knuckles. Chewy choosing to check back, and the 3 of diamonds provides the flush draw. 160 out there.
Interesting spot. Button BB 3-handed. 2-tone. Straight draws are plentiful. Chewy with the queen high flush draw. 160 in the middle. Does go for a very big bet, perhaps 150% pot. Let's see. I believe it is 240. And for Petrangelo, middle pair queen kicker, blocking some of the heart draws that may have checked back. Curious spot. Still a lot of hand. Does
Agreed.
call.
And hasn't particularly represented the 7 in any way that would discourage Chewy from barreling a multitude of holdings on this turn.
Tricky spot for Chewy. Queen high. Misses the back door. 640 in the middle.
480.
480 declared, the sort of normal value size, so to speak. And for Petrangelo, a real decision. It looks like he has a rather good 7 to call with. Perhaps he wants to block a straight, but the queen strikes me as a good card to have. Maybe a mix of sorts.
Fold.
Oh, it does get through. Lovely execution there from
Jacks.
Lucky Chewy.
Nothing.
Yep.
He goes, yep.
What?
Nothing? Yep.
Once the blinds reach 40, And of course 50K, so on. Things will get a bit more conventional, if you will. Typical idea here from Chewy. We take some of our trashiest offsuit hands, BB small blind, and go for the raise. What's that now, Ali? Lubricated, you say?
Yeah, the gears just kind of feel, like we said, grindy right now. Maybe we throw a little WD-40 on the party.
When it comes from Sultan Najad, I'm always thinking you're going a different direction.
Rightfully so, by the way.
5-9 king, 2 hearts, middle pair for Chewy. Ace of hearts working for Petrangelo. And so you're off to Korea tomorrow or something like this?
Originally it was tonight, but as you've borne witness to, I've been having to make some on-the-fly adjustments to the travel because I'm not sure when this one's going to be done with. That red eye. We're going to shoot Poker After Dark out there, actually. It's going to be pretty exciting, along with GG Poker. Meanwhile, 65K plunked in there by Chewy, called by Petrangelo, whose ace is a bit curious.
Was a bit curious. Note Chewy has 9-3 off. He could easily have 8-deuce off and so on. So Petrangelo keeping an eye on the bottom part of the deck, if you will. Chewy with a good 9 to value bet, perhaps. Has that 3 of hearts blocking flushes. And for Petrangelo, at the very least, we consider raising in the face of a bet, I would imagine, although we shall see.
285.
Goes
Remember,
from 285 into 400.
Chewy did make it 120 to go out of the big after Petrangelo limped in, so
That's right.
the King X is reppable.
I would think all 3 might be on the table for Petrangelo as far as fold, call, or raise. Doesn't seem abundantly clear which route to go if we imagine ourselves in his seat.
725.
And he does do it, Ali. 725 to go, and for Chewy we have a real decision here. Tough one. Might be time bank time. It does get through. Lovely execution there from Petrangelo. Really nice.
We're really doing it out here.
By the way, and it's just 5s for Petrangelo, who is asking for a count here.
2.1.
Thanks.
Petrangelo defends.
Queen 6 tray, 2 overcards to the nickels, 1 to the jacks.
Check.
Kind of a nice card for both boys.
Check.
2 tones out there.
Check.
Still, Chewy does not bet. And that 3 also strikes me as quite nice. Might Petrangelo be targeting some ace high with a bet here? Or just check and look to induce bluff catch? Maybe the latter preferred?
120.
He does just go for half pot. I was wondering myself, thus the silence, Ali. And in the face of half pot, I would think Chewy just goes for call. Perhaps against block, he toys with raise. Even here, he's clearly thinking about it, of course, not folding.
360.
He does find the raise even versus half pot. Some very advanced tactics going on out there. Spirited match. These two have played some really interesting pots.
The awkwardness of this situation for Petrangelo, not lost on any of us.
Call.
What a great play from Chewy there.
Begrudgingly, but the size was so right, and the line was so plausible for an ambitious ace high, maybe.
Chewy with the limp.
Jack deuce. Turns into jacks on the all-club board, but it is up against top pair for Negreanu. Now the turn, giving Chewy the lead with trip jacks. As he checks again. And a snap check back for Negreanu, who rivers kings full. Only 120 out there, but more inbound.
Yeah, the best hands seem to change on every street. More inbound indeed. Chewy goes for 90 into 120, 75%. After the ensuing raise from Daniel, very awkward navigations for Chewy.
Going to a bank here is Daniel. Occasionally these are employed despite some premeditation in an effort to perhaps sell the idea that real considerations in terms of whether or not to put the raise in were afoot.
Yeah, and I think against this kind of friendly size, for lack of a better, we just pay off. This would really be outstanding if Chewy finds the fold.
Well, his man checked back 2 streets and
Yeah,
suddenly will show us the king.
A king is very possible in that line. You could check twice easily, but it's just, he went with a smallish raise after time banking. Does get away, I'll tell you what. Chewy's played some extraordinary 2-card today, both for value and the folding of hands as well. Ace-4 for Chewy. Went for limp, 3.5x from Daniel. Chewy's in.
9-7-4. Ace of clubs working for Chewy. Negreanu with the snap check back and a beautiful snowman on the turn. Delivering him a set 2-tone coordinated texture though.
Is drawing dead, Chewy that is.
Calls the 225 here. Curious as to what sort of ideas he may have. 4th straight card comes off. Not looking to represent that part of the deck. He does check and see if Negreanu will pursue value here.
Check.
4.
Doesn't. Plays it safe.
Whole bunch of 8s.
That'll do it.
Whole bunch of them.
Offsuit king here, 11.5 bigs for Chewy. Does go in. Daniel squeezing.
What's
and
the
has
total?
him in all sorts of
575.
bad shape. Ali.
A shared 6 with an ace. Negreanu.
It's 11 big blinds and a bit. This is an obvious slam dunk, but I kind of like the situation right now. We're having fun, but should we double up old Chewy there? Chewy want to get doubled up? I'm gonna have to gamble with Chewy.
Well, he does want to
Need
get
a
doubled up.
mandatory call.
That's unfortunate.
This does not appear to be the time, and that's unfortunate is an understatement, perhaps. 23% is the king 6.
Dire straits for Chewy as it stands,
Yeah.
Ali.
Yeah.
Big flop
Maybe I'll be
coming.
fortunate.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, it's a flip.
The coin
That's one way to look at it.
very weighted toward a6. The flop, ace, deuce, deuce, and now the diamond
Diamond, diamond.
does work.
Has the diamonds working? Has
That is a
deuce, deuce
possibility.
working? Chop it up, quads with an ace. Or running kings.
Turn card, help needed, and the 10 of
game,
hearts is
Chewy.
not it.
Nice battle, bro.
Yeah. Good game, guys.
That was a pleasure.
It was a lot of fun.
Man, cheers.
Yeah.
Salivary glands have been activated.
Goes for limp, queen 10 off for Negreanu. Checks.
Monotone king high board.
Middle pair,
Negreanu
ace kicker for Petrangelo indeed. Negreanu with the 10 of spades, Ali, queen high.
picks up the gutter. Aces and 5s now for Nikki P.
50.
Goes for third. Interesting spot for Daniel. I think we often go for call. I suppose raise isn't out of the question. Perhaps it is. 250 in the middle. Clean river for Petrangelo. 7 of diamonds. And for Daniel, still something of a decision with ace, king, queen, 10, 5.
250.
And the flush blocker. Petrangelo goes for full pot. Again, that limping range is so wide in this BB ante format. Things like 3-8 offsuit, so on.
Negreanu wondering just how often Nicky P is firing here with worse than Queen 10. Oh, and he pays off.
Good.
Pretty key payoff there in terms of Petrangelo. Another limped one pre, Jack 9-5, bottom pair for Negreanu. This ace-king slithered its way in on the button. Checks back, picks up the Broadway draw, courtesy of the queen. It's 9s and 5s, by the way, for Negreanu. Apologies.
Very sneaky procedures from Petrangelo. Indeed, 9s and 5s for Negreanu. Goes for 100 into 150. Nick, of course, in.
Now it's 5s full for Daniel. Overkill.
Very much overkill and highly tricky road for Petrangelo. As you often espouse when the board pairs on the end, it doesn't really change, if you will. All of the 10-4s of the world and so on have now missed.
One day you're gonna bluff, right?
Full house.
Not today. A pricey cape.
One day perhaps, but not today, if you will. Back up to 10 to 1, Ali, chip lead wise.
Hopefully don't have to.
I don't know what the backstory is on that, but Negreanu limp, Petrangelo check.
Check it out.
Okay.
Jack 8-5.
All right.
2 hearts. It's a gutter. Backdoor spades versus top pair. The 7 of hearts working.
Very much so. Not going anywhere for Petrangelo.
100 a man to the turn. Now 9s for Nicky P.
When we make middle pair and so on, note the very sneaky check from Negreanu and a glorious river for him in this line. Comes with the highly trappy, sort of unusual check on the turn. And for Petrangelo, he has to think jacks and 9s are good right here, albeit sharing a kicker with the board.
225.
Good enough for 225K of his 645 to be delivered into the middle. And one would imagine that Daniel...
9.
I thought he would be putting the remaining 420 on request, Nick, in the form of a raise, but instead just flats and leaves Petrangelo
I very much thought he would as well.
at the low water mark.
But whatever the case may be, indeed, it is the low water mark. 420 for Nicky P. 6.8 for Negreanu some odd. Just 8 big blinds for Petrangelo. Nick with an offsuit king. 10 BBs with the big blind ante. He's counting down, Ali. Does call. Best hand.
Decides to
All right.
defend on the
Fair
strength
fight.
of a king.
No pair against no pair. Let's have the worst hand win again. 3
Recognizing.
clubs, queen. Let me win it all in one time. Let's just do it. This is the one, right? We win it all in with the worst hand. Come on. Begging.
Would be willing to get after him with less
Do
than a
it.
king, as we see here.
Do it.
To the flop.
Oh, and he slides into a commanding lead here. Top pair with the clubs working.
Bazooka. Just 2 red kings. For the time being, can rescue Nick Petrangelo from a second place fate. Can hardly look. Now the board pairs, and it is indeed just 2 outs, 1 time.
What a feeling this must be for Daniel. For Nick, the light is dimming.
Will the monkey finally be removed from Daniel's back over the better part of these last 2 years? The answer is yes.
Congrats, man.
Cheers. Thanks, bud.
play.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
As he takes the worst of it and rides it to glory. 3.3
Remember the
million
exit
plus.
interview from the other one? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! What'd I tell you? How do you get them chips? How do you get them chips when you play some defense? Oh yeah! We got them all.
Good game, man.
Thanks, bud.
Congrats.
Oh yeah! Macho Man told you what was gonna happen, didn't he? All this pretty money right here. Oh yeah! You step into my ring right here at the Super High Roller Bowl, eh? Ooh, that felt good! I won with the worst hand all in. Oh, let's go. Okay, now what?